choose 48-month special financing. Give yourself the gift of better sleep on a new mattress with 48-month special financing, plus a wide selection of in-stock and top-of-the-line Serta and Restonic mattresses. Don't miss Christmas cash savings going on now at Bostic Sugg Furniture.
When fun finally returns, Bud Light legends don't just come back. They come roaring back, carrying a cooler full of Bud Lights, an inflatable dolphin, and those Velcro pads with the balls that stick to them. And this summer, with a cooler at their side, they're gonna make up for all the fun we've missed. Welcome back, Bud Light legends. It's time to take summer by the coolers. Cooler up at BudLightLegends.com. Enjoy responsibly. 2021 AB Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hey Pirate Nation, this is Tom Brown from Brown & Wood Cadillac. We've been serving the Pirate Nation in Eastern North Carolina for 83 years. We have 4 brands, 3 generations, 2 showrooms, and 1 goal to make sure you leave a happy customer.
This month at Brown & Wood, get an all-new 2022 Cadillac CT5 and save over $1,500 off. And as always, Brown & Wood is the home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
We're located on Greenville Boulevard next to the Convention Center, or shop us online at brownandwoodauto.com.
This is Dr. Phil Perdue with Orthopedics East and Sports Medicine Center. My colleagues and I recognize how difficult this time is for everyone in our community. We continue to see patients during the week while taking precautions to keep everyone safe. Our extended care clinic is now open on Saturdays and Sundays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. so you can avoid the emergency department for your urgent orthopedic care. For more information, please contact us at 757-2663 or visit our website at orthoeast.com.
If you wake up in the morning with a backache, feeling more tired than you did when you went to bed, you probably need a new mattress. And the best place to get that mattress is Factory Mattress. Hi, I'm Kirk Smith, General Manager. For more than 40 years, Factory Mattress has been Greenville and Wilson's local mattress dealer. We guarantee the lowest price on the area's best selection with over 50 models to choose from. No seconds or overruns. Factory Mattress offers only first quality direct from the manufacturer. Sealy Posturepedic, Beauty Rest, Stearns & Foster, and Tempur-Pedic. The most highly trained sales associates with over 60 years of combined experience. Same as cash financing with 0 interest up to 48 months and free local delivery. Face it, to have a good day, you've got to have a good night. So sleep better knowing you saved money at Factory Mattress, locally owned on Greenville Boulevard in Greenville, on Forest Hills Road in Wilson, on the web at FactoryMattressUSA.com, and a proud member of Pirates Supporting Pirates.
The best place for delicious food and great prices is Familia. Familia has something for everyone, like New York-style pizza, lasagna, chicken, veal, or eggplant parmesan, homemade meatballs, plus a variety of seafood selections and favorites, like the steak burger and southern pork chop. If you need food to go, Familia's drive-thru window is open and ready for all takeout orders. Familia, Flower Tower Road near Pitt Community College, and FamiliaNC.com.
If you missed Pirate Radio Live, you missed
the head basketball coach of the Pirates, Joe Dooley. If you had your way, like to mix in a tough road game before conference play, what do you think about the schedule this year?
Scheduling is a little more complex than even I originally thought when I got into coaching. We were scheduled to go to Old Dominion this year. They had to back that up because Old Dominion didn't come to us last year. So when that game was postponed, we had planned on playing at Old Dominion this year. So when you do the schedule a year in advance, you were figuring that would be a road game.
Pirate Radio Live, weekdays from 3 to 6. Right here on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. The following is an exclusive presentation of Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. This is Eastern North Carolina's longest-running sports radio call-in show. The Brian Bailey Show is on the air. The Brian Bailey Show on Pirate Radio is brought to you by
Angus Grill, Bostic Sugg Furniture, Bojangles, East Coast Grading, Greenville Auto World, Papa John's, Pepsi, Seared Chop House, Taft & Hagler, Tiebreakers, PMS Builders, and The Rick House.
And now, here's Brian Bailey.
Happy 2022, everybody, and welcome into our show. Not a lot going on off the field and on the field and on the courts. Rather, off the field and off the courts is where we are headed because with COVID going on, the bowl game was canceled, of course, the Military Bowl, and East Carolina Pirate basketball having lost 2 games to COVID so far. We'll find out about chances to reschedule those things and that kind of thing. Ryan Robinson, the Executive Associate AD at East Carolina, also the Executive Director of the Pirate Club, joins us live in the studio, and we'll take your questions, comments, that kind of thing on our Facebook Live show. But first of all, Happy New Year, Ryan.
Happy New Year, Brian. It's good to be here in person. 2022, I think, is going to be the year of the Pirates.
I hope so, because
that's what I'm saying.
2020 wasn't great at all. 2021 was a little bit better as far as just COVID and everything like that, and still we're dealing with those kinds of issues. So Ryan Robinson live in the studio. We'll take our first commercial break. Back with more after this.
Dear past, present, and future football watchers. Football is back! Just how you remembered it. Tailgates with an ice-cold Pepsi in hand? Totally back. That between-play sprint to the fridge for more Pepsi is back, baby! I really miss this. Anyways, consider this your official excuse for always putting football watching first, courtesy of Pepsi. That haircut appointment? Your mom told us you look great, so you should probably reschedule. Seeing the in-laws for the first time in ages.
It's been so long.
Nope, sorry, Susan. Not if it's on Sunday. Long story short, after the year we've all had, we think you could use a little football watching. So crack open a Pepsi and cheer your football watching face off. With love, Pepsi. Made for football watching. That's what I like.
Hi, this is Billy Parker from Parker's Barbecue. Did you know that we cater? Let us cater your next private event, church gathering, or backyard party. From traditional pig pickings to regular chopped barbecue, Parker's has anything you need. Parker's, where you're always treated like family.
The Rick House is Eastern North Carolina's premier American-style restaurant and bourbon bar. Join us at the Rick House for mouth-watering steaks and made-from-scratch pastas. Check out the 16-ounce cowboy steak and our seafood delight pasta. The Rick House is open for lunch daily from 11 to 2, Monday through Friday. Take a break from your workday with lunch at the Rick House. Join us for our legendary brunch on Sundays from 10 to 2. The Rick House, American Provisions and Spirits, 710 Red Banks Road beside the bowling alley in Greenville.
You'll save a whole lot of money with Christmas cash savings from Bostic Sugg Furniture. Spruce up your home in style and save up to 15% off store-wide, plus 6 months special financing, or choose 48 months special financing. Give yourself the gift of better sleep on a new mattress with 48 months special financing, plus a wide selection of in-stock and top-of-the-line Serta and Restonic mattresses. Don't miss Christmas cash savings going on now at Bostic Sugg Furniture.
Seared Chop House is Greenville's newest restaurant and the city's only true chop house. We combine a remarkable menu with an unrivaled atmosphere. Seared, a quality-driven experience highlighting a thoughtful approach to locally sourced ingredients and hearty, flavor-rich cuisine. We're firing up the grill at Seared, Greenville's only true chop house. Come see us, Fire Tower Road at Bells Fork or SearedChophouse.com.
Safety comes first at Greenville Utilities. Did you know that by itself, natural gas is completely odorless? As a safety precaution, a chemical is added to the gas that gives it a distinctive and unpleasant odor. This allows you to detect the slightest amount of natural gas both indoors and outdoors. If you smell a strong odor of natural gas in or near your home, you should immediately call Greenville Utilities. GUC maintains staff around the clock in order to provide immediate response to emergencies such as natural gas leaks. You can count on GUC to keep safety job number one.
This is Coach Gary Overton, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
All right, welcome back. Lots of questions for Ryan Robinson, Executive Associate Athletic Director for East Carolina University, also the Executive Director of the Pirate Club. And whatever Brian can't answer this week, we got John Gilbert next week. So if you want to...
I can pass the questions.
If you want to pass them on, we can certainly do that. But let's go ahead and start with some of the questions on our feed. Is the basketball game still on for Wednesday? As we speak, we think yes.
Yes, everything's moving in that direction. And, I think all of our fans know now now, and as you know, Brian, it is truly hour by hour with COVID. But hopefully, we can get people healthy with the new CDC rules and guidelines. Right now the rule is if you have 7 scholarship players, you must field a team. So hopefully we can play. Hopefully we can have a full team, because I think that is hard. Even when you say 7 scholarship players, that's hard on Coach Dooley. But the plan is right now, 7 o'clock on Wednesday, we'll have basketball back in the action, and then we'll try to figure out. I know we have a couple a sport administrator and John that are working to reschedule the 2 missed games.
The last game, or right before the cancellations, it seemed like Coach Dooley was saying there was like 2 starters and 2 of his first 3 off the bench or something like that. So it was really a difficult situation. And I've talked to Joe a couple of times, and not only canceling games or postponing games, but you're trying to practice. And basketball is all a sport, and we've seen so many years where teams come through, and the team in November is much different when you get to February and March. But it's a transformation process. It's a process that has to happen, and when you get knocked out for a week or 2, it's hard to get that process going.
I watch a lot. I love college basketball. I watch a lot of basketball, and just over the weekend, you see some of these teams that are just decimated by COVID, and you feel for these coaches for having to go through this. And like I said, when you have the rule is 7 scholarship players, so I don't know what our numbers are right now, but I know that. You said something really important. It might be, can we play Wednesday, but hey, can we practice today?
Right.
Can we get 2 days of practice leading up to the game? And that's what's important for these young men. I know, listen, these kids come here, they want to compete. They want to compete for the Pirates. So I hate any time we have a cancellation. I know our women's basketball right now is dealing with the same issue. Maybe it's something that as we go through, we got it out of the way at the beginning of the season, and now we can kind of move forward. But you don't want a lot of cancellations, just because those are games that you're probably going to have to reschedule, and that can be one of those stretches of 2 games in 3 days.
Yeah, and that's not fun for anybody. All right, Bubba writes in and says, what were the final donor and membership numbers for the Pirate Club in 2021? Do you have those figures?
I don't have. I know our total membership was right around 5,000. And then we don't have our total numbers, but it'll probably be around $6 million. I think what's been really impressive from our donor standpoint is just the amount of engagement. This has been a rough couple years. I was telling John the other day, I've been here. Today starts my 3rd year at East Carolina, and I want to say probably 22 of those months have been dealing with COVID.
Oh, yeah.
And
I was going to say, you haven't had anything normal.
No, I'd love to have a normal year, but the donors have been unbelievable. And, just to single out like a Bill Clark Homes, last year we're at a tough time. We have a We Believe Foundation. Bill Clark Homes gives $100,000. They buy tickets to the South Carolina game. Then all of a sudden at the end of the year, we're in another situation with the bowl. They give $200,000.
Yeah.
So it's just really special here. I know that our numbers are going to go up next year, because I think hopefully our football season tickets numbers will go up. But as we start this next phase in 2022, we are hoping to kind of launch a comprehensive campaign that will benefit our student athletes, help with our facilities. So I know we'll need a lot of support this coming year, the next couple of years, to get where we want to go.
And that campaign that you talk about, it's not official, but basically that's part of the deal, the indoor practice facility for East Carolina.
Yeah, the university is launching it's a $500 million campaign that I know has been out there. Chancellor Rogers talked about it. So we're playing a role in that. And that'll have, we've got to do a new swimming locker room. We have a indoor facility, obviously, is very, very important. We've got a building in baseball down the third baseline. I know is very important to Coach Godwin. He's already actually had fundraised some money before. We got some stuff with our teams building that we'd like to kind of expand. And then just some stuff with nutrition and other areas that are vital. But the one that everybody likes to talk about is the indoor facility, which I like to call a multi-purpose facility, because I think every team is going to be able to use it. So we're going to start that process right now. The process we're in right now, Brian, is really laying out the designs and all the fancy brochures and stuff, and then we'll kind of launch. But we've talked to a lot of our donors about it, and we will have, I think we'll have really good support for it.
All right, we're going to dive into the Military Bowl, and John, your question is very good. We'll get to that one in just a second, but take us back to your role with the Military Bowl, because if I'm not mistaken, you and John came up. Did you guys get up there on Sunday?
No, I actually went up on Christmas Eve because the team, J.J. McGlam, had went up on the 22nd and was in D.C. with the team. I went to the Graduate in Annapolis to kind of get that squared away because that's where all of our fans were going to be. We were going to do a big donor event on December 26th. So I talked to John. John was still in he was still in Greenville, and I talked to him on Christmas night, and John will tell you, I mean, their AD he's a really good man, Pat Kraft. He was at Temple. Okay. I always remember him being at Temple when the lights went out. Remember that game? He came across the sideline and said, John, it was one of John's first games, and he's like, what is going on? So I always remember Pat Kraft, and he handled it so well.
You know who else was there that night? Was Bam Adebayo was at the game that night.
Yeah, I just remember every time I think of Pat Kraft. But Pat was good. You know, I think he kind of shared with John, hey, we've got some issues. We think we can get to Tuesday, but we do have some issues. And we had, you know, we knew we had some issues as well. And then obviously, you know, Christmas morning, it all changed. On the 26th, on the Christmas night, we got another call that, hey, you know, we still think we're going to be all right. And then I guess on the 26th, the morning of the 26th, they had some major issues. So I was in Annapolis, and, you know, I got the call. There was already some of our ECU fans in the lobby. So we had to do a lot of things in probably 2 or 3 hours just to kind of get the word out. Obviously, crushed for our student athletes, crushed for Coach Houston. But, you know, Boston College, they were down there practicing too, so I know they had the intent to play the game. And then, you know, once I drove back that day, and as you're driving back, you're thinking, man, we are in a financial...
Yeah, I bet.
We just spent 4 days in D.C. How are we going to pay for that? So your mind kind of shifts. I will tell you, Brian, it was the longest drive I've ever had. I drove from Annapolis on Sunday back to Greenville. On the way up, it took me 4 hours and 10 minutes. On the way back, it took me 7 hours.
Did you go on the 26th down 95?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was brutal.
It was one of the worst.
It was a parking lot. It was awful.
I kept looking at my screen, and it would say red. And
it was red.
I have never in my life, I could not wait to get out of my car. When I saw a Tarboro sign, I had a sigh of relief.
Oh, I was about 20, 25 miles behind Brian Meador. So he's calling me and giving me updates. He said, buddy, it's still red. But he was depressing because he would say, buddy, you're getting ready to stop. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm not stopping. He goes, yeah, you are. Because it's 95. It's a parking lot.
Well, it's funny because I was talking to a lady. I think you were in D.C.
I was in D.C. Went to Annapolis. Yeah, I was. Did you talk to them?
Yeah, I talked to them. They said, because I guess her boyfriend...
So somebody at that table said they saw it on social media, and it's a player's brother had put it on social media. And I first said, "There's no way." I just left the team because what I decided to do was go from D.C. with the team, went over to Annapolis early, and to be there when the team was coming through for. I don't even know if it was a walkthrough, but it was going to be a team picture at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium, and then I knew the fans were going to start coming in, so we were going to do some stories there. Ken Watlington from Channel 9 was going to meet me over there, so we had it all planned out. So I'm sitting there enjoying breakfast, minding my own business. I thought they were Pirate people, and then one of them said, "Mr. Bailey, we don't mean to interrupt your breakfast, but we think the bowl game's canceled." And I was like, "Get out of here! There's no way." So I just left Coach Houston and everybody, and they go, "Well, it's looking bad." And I got on, and it was like, man.
Well, I think John called Mike. Obviously, wanted the student athletes to know before anybody, and I think Mike said, "Hey, I'm going to get them together right now." And she had told me that I think I'm the one that told Brian Bailey.
Yeah, she was. We thank you too.
It was tough, you know. As we got back and really started to think about it, it's just tough because we had so many fans. I mean, we sold probably near 6,000 tickets just through us, not counting the people that bought tickets other places. And I wasn't there on Sunday night, but I heard that Pirate Nation kind of took over Annapolis.
Oh, yeah, I heard the same thing. And I seriously thought about staying in town, but then I thought, that might be a bad idea. Because I think everybody was just so depressed, and then you get around, and then, it was just because not only, bowl games are different in nature because, if you go to one every year, sometimes you get tired of going to one, blah, blah, blah. But the Pirates hadn't been to one in so long. And everybody was looking forward to getting out there, being on a national stage. The bowl game itself was different because most bowls, you go to one city, one area, and you do different things. Because of COVID, you couldn't do a lot of things with the teams together. You weren't with us, I don't think, then, but back in St. Petersburg at the Beef O'Brady's Bowl that year, they had a belly flop competition between the teams. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just so much fun, and the guys had a good time. But this bowl game was a little different because all the activities were actually in downtown D.C., and then everything bowl related was supposed to be in Annapolis, and we really didn't get to that point because the game was canceled. Sunday was the big day for the bowl in Annapolis.
I was so excited about that. Yeah, there was a bad idea for me definitely was waking up, making all the calls and then around noon saying, oh, yeah, traffic shouldn't be bad on Sunday.
Yeah.
But that was a very bad idea.
Bad idea.
But, as we got back, and we've talked to a lot of people, you heard their stories, and I hated the people that were right outside Richmond and had to turn around. There's no great way of communicating.
No.
The biggest thing for us is always to let our student athletes hear first. Sometimes you can do that, sometimes you can't. But I know Mike said that was a tough conversation with those kids.
All right, one of the questions that came in from John, it says, has the Capitol Hilton been cooperative with reimbursements for the team's stay after the cancellation?
The Capitol Hilton, we're going to have to pay. There's, we were there for 3 days, so I think that's where people, when you look at expenses, these are expenses that we already had.
Right.
So we stayed there. Was it three nights?
It was. We arrived on Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, and then Sunday, guys started leaving, but they had the option of staying Sunday night and then coming back.
And the reason they had the option was a lot of the parents had driven up, so it was like getting to spend some time with their kids. So we're looking at right now about $400,000 now. Part of the bowl expenses include bringing the team back before Christmas, practicing, feeding, housing them. That's not part of when you're not in a bowl, everybody's gone. So at the end of the day, the money we would have received from the bowl would have covered our expenses.
Right. Well, you try to break even.
You try to break even, and now we're not receiving anything from the bowl, and we still had all of those expenses. And that's why it's so important, with what Bill Clark Homes did. We've had a lot of other donations. I think right now we've probably had, I want to say, close to $80,000 to $90,000 that's been donated to the Pirate Club from tickets, and I understand there's a lot of people that spend a lot of money, so this ticket refund will help them pay for that. So I understand. Right now, if we can get to that, if we didn't have somebody like a Bill Clark Homes, Brian, the problem would have been it would have kind of set us back.
Right.
We're moving forward, and it's now like, okay, how are you going to find $400,000?
Right.
It's not out there.
No.
So we're looking forward to moving forward on this. We'll have some updated numbers probably in the next week. I think we still have about 400 or 500 accounts that have not said, hey, I want a refund or I want it donated. So once we have those numbers, we'll have a good idea.
What were ticket prices?
Ticket prices?
Yeah.
Well, you could pay 180 or 60, I believe, is what it was. And we sold, and then we had that Minnow Pavilion. It's a perfect example. So the Minnow Pavilion there, we sold $150, including food and drinks. Well, we have to pay for the catering because we had ordered the catering. It was ready. So we're kind of going back and forth on that. So there's a lot of expenses that pile up, and I know some of our people here had bought suites there. They're still dealing with the catering aspect. So it's a mess, but I tell you, after the last couple of years, Brian, nothing really surprised me anymore.
No, that's the truth. All right. Plenty more to dive into with Ryan Robinson. We'll take a commercial break right now. We'll come back. Your questions, your comments are welcome on our Facebook Live page for Pirate Radio. Back with Ryan Robinson on this 2022 debut of the Brian Bailey Show after this. Hi,
this is Jeff Charles, and this is a Pirate Radio Sports Break presented by Ron Ayers Motorsports, Highway 11, north of the airport in Greenville. ECU's next scheduled basketball game is Wednesday night against Tulane at Williams Arena Minges Coliseum. The Pirates have lost 2 games due to COVID issues, a home game last week against Wichita State, and a road game Saturday at USF. The Pirates have not played in 13 days. ECU is 9-3. In the AAC yesterday, number 12 Houston defeated Temple 66-61. SMU took UCF 72-60. The Hornets got crushed at home last night, losing to the Phoenix Suns by 34 points, 133-99. Charlotte drops to 19-18. The Hornets are in D.C. to take on the Wizards tonight at 7 o'clock. And the Panthers lost to the Saints 18-10. Carolina drops to 5-11. The Washington football team dropped a 20-16 decision to the Eagles. The Eagles are in the playoffs. This has been a Pirate Radio Sports Break. UBE and PirateWear.com is excited to offer Pirate Nation the largest selection of new ECU merchandise and tailgate supplies ever. UBE has the best prices in town, so that makes UBE your one-stop shop for all things ECU. UBE does daily restocks of Champion, Adidas, and Under Armour. Don't forget to bring your young Pirates in to plunder the Crow's Nest, which is the only kids store dedicated to ECU. Plenty of free parking uptown in Greenville. Visit them at PirateWear.com. Go Pirates!
The Angus Grill is the premier location for the best burgers, cheesesteaks, and brisket sandwiches around. Join us and experience original flavors, quality service, and an upbeat environment. We've got 5 outstanding locations in eastern North Carolina, in Winterville near Pitt Community College, in Wilmington on 4th Street, and 3 locations right here in Greenville. East 10th Street near the Walmart, Jarvis Street in Uptown, and in our newest location on Statensburg Road near the hospital at the former CPW's location. It's the best burger around. Angus Grill.
University PC Care has been the Pirate Nation's go-to IT expert since 2006. They thank you for your continued support and trust during these trying times. Many services can be done remotely and free pickup and delivery is available. As a Dell business partner and Apple authorized service provider, you can count on University PC Care for all your personal and business tech support needs. To make a remote appointment or to bring in your device for service at their Greenville or New Bern locations, call 558-1280 or go online at universitypccare.com.
For years, Callie Ann Phelps has been singing about Phelps Chevrolet.
Phelps Chevrolet is the one for you. Low prices, service too. See the big dealer right away. Carolina's finest, Phelps Chevrolet.
And you'll agree with what Skylar Phelps has to say.
Nobody beats Phelps Chevrolet's prices. Nobody.
The name you can depend on. Phelps Chevrolet.
Get you one.
This is Amanda Houston, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. Go Pirates!
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
All right, welcome back. Lots of questions and comments coming in, so let's share these with Ryan Robinson. This is good stuff. All right, Kenny writes in, and Kenny's got some great ideas, by the way. He's a Cowboy guy, so he's kind of in depression today, but anyway, he says that...
That was a fumble, Kenny.
It was a fumble, and Dez caught it.
But when you have to call a timeout trying to line up for a field goal,
I agree with you. I'm right there with you. I was upset, too, and nothing to do about it. All right, his idea for next year for the BYU game is to take and offer 2 tickets and a hotel room for the BYU game and raffle that package off for $10 a pop. He says if you sell 2,000 tickets, then you generate $20,000 and your cost would probably be around $2,000, so you make $18,000. So just a way to kind of generate some interest. A lot of people will be interested in the BYU trip, won't they?
Oh yeah, I think we've already talked to a lot of people. We were actually just talking about that yesterday. I think we got to figure out maybe some travel packages of how we can get some people up there, because that's going to be a special trip.
All right, a lot of people have asked me to ask you, and we've got a couple of people on here, and people in the public have asked me. All right, take us through what you and John talked about when everything was, when the bowl game was canceled. Were there any other options? Was there any way to play, in another bowl game, Wake Forest, perhaps, which would have been really exciting for Pirate fans, but the logistics had to be crazy. But was there any chance to play in any other bowl game?
Well, I think the Wake Forest, I'm pretty sure they had already had Rutgers lined up for that game at that time. Well, I think the biggest thing when you look at the cancellation is, our kids have been here since they hadn't had any break. So we weren't going to be able to play a bowl game in Washington, D.C. That wasn't right. There's no one calling going, hey, we'll play you in D.C.
We'll come to the other.
We'll come to the, and play you on December 27th. And I think the other issue is the longer it went with all issues, our COVID. I mean, we were in a good place, but we continued to also, get positive.
Kind of like the whole country, though, right there.
Yeah, so we really needed to play, Brian, Monday or Tuesday. I think with the NC State thing that was interesting is, and I have a lot of respect, I feel bad for what NC State has had to go through with baseball.
Oh, yeah.
And now football. But Big Guy told me I'm allowed to sympathize with NC State. I can't with North Carolina. That's what he told me. Yeah, I'm never allowed to sympathize with North Carolina.
I gained a whole lot of respect for Dave Doran when he came back to Raleigh and called out the NCAA. I mean,
but the whole thing on that, and I know John can go on it more, but you can't just play a bowl game in Raleigh,
right?
Greenville. I mean, the Holiday Bowl wanted a game, so I think someone was going to have to fly to California. And if you look at, let's just take our situation. All right, we get everybody back together.
Yeah.
Well, they want to play on Friday, so we get everybody back together and then fly across the country, and we could have another COVID issue,
right?
And then we're out, a charter flight, the expense of that. So the logistics just weren't going to work, and I think the one misnomer is that you can't just play a bowl game wherever you want to play, and our kids, you were there, but they all took off. I mean, they were home, different places. Coaches were different places. It was just unfortunate, but I don't know. Playing another game was really not an option. But I think if something would have happened 2 or 3 days ahead of time, Brian, I think you probably could have looked at it. But when it's a day before, it really wasn't an option. But no, we had a lot of conversations. I mean, John and I probably talked 30 times that day just on different things. Obviously you're dealing with logistics. How do we get the kids back? Can the kids stay an extra night? But yeah, it just didn't work. But I would have loved if all of a sudden, Navy would have came on board and said, hey, we'll play in our stadium for a bowl game. But they were all, across the country as well.
Yeah, and you think about it, it wasn't just East Carolina that made that same decision. There were other schools that had games canceled, and they were kind of, I know they're I think everybody wanted to see the Pirates play in a bowl game. That's what it came down to. And a lot of us don't understand the X's and O's that goes into exactly what you guys do as far as the money goes. But it was just such a bad taste in everybody's mouth. And then when State got canceled, that was, everybody was thinking about, Troy put out the barbecue bowl and playing in Raleigh, and
I love the passion behind it. Yeah. I think too, the one thing that you can't lose sight of is COVID. Everybody to an extent has COVID issues right now, and you don't know how bad. I know it's like Boston College; they just kept popping positives, and I know that DC area was very hot at the time, and we had a couple positives. So you don't know. Let's say we're going to play on Thursday. You get everybody excited again, and all of a sudden we don't have enough players to play. I think the thing that really with bowl games, I know SMU was in the same. As us, Memphis. Memphis actually has a better situation because whoever plays in the Hawaii Bowl from the AAC pays for their charter flights to Hawaii.
Wow, I didn't know that.
So SMU is more in a situation.
I knew we should have gone to Hawaii.
Yeah, so they didn't lose the expense of the travel as much as us and SMU, and obviously SMU is probably better off financially than East Carolina, but. You know what, Brian? All we can hope for is that we come back in 2022 and maybe we go to a Florida Bowl this year. That'd be nice.
Go to Hawaii. Because let me tell you something. I said it coming back after that game. I said, if you don't play for the national championship, the best bowl out there was the Hawaii Bowl. Treated the players and coaches and their families just like royalty the whole week. And
I've heard that from donors.
It was unbelievable just how well everybody was treated for that bowl game. And it was, I hope we get a chance to go again.
Yeah, I've been to several Florida Bowls. At Tennessee, went to the Outback Bowl and the Music City. I feel bad too. I know the Military Bowl, but those people, those volunteers and staff, they put in a lot of time and effort, and to have it kind of pulled out from under them. I know they're also trying to recoup the expenses they put on it. So it's really no one wins. No one wins.
And the Military Bowl, I think they did their best, but it was kind of a struggle to try to find interesting things for the teams to do. You couldn't get them together. They went on a couple of tours. I think the players were interested in some of that. They had the big reception, the welcome reception the night that the Pirates arrived. One of the really cool things was the magician that was there, and he was doing card tricks, and he had Coach Houston almost mesmerized by it, and that was a lot of fun. But it really didn't seem like. And again, it was partly because you're in D.C., you're playing a game in Annapolis. It's about a 40-minute ride with no traffic. With traffic, it's maybe an hour 20. But it just seemed like it was,
The one thing I think on bowls that could change in the future is, first of all, if we're still dealing with COVID, there's going to have to be some kind of, very much transparent on, hey, here's what we're doing as we head in. And then I think you'll see maybe teams go either the night before or maybe, I know that ruins the bowl experience, night before, maybe 2 nights before instead of spending 4 or 5 nights.
And I think looking back, and obviously hindsight is 20/20, but thinking back, several people said to me what the Pirates should have done and what Boston College should have done is just arrive, maybe even arrived on the 26th, early on the 26th, and treated it like a regular game.
Yeah, if you look back on it, there's a lot of things, but, the bowl pays you a certain amount of money because they're getting that from sponsorship. So some of these events are sponsor oriented. Yeah, there's a lot of things you look. I do think the bowl thing will change a little bit in that regards because bowl cancellations, they affect. It's like I look at the Outback Bowl. I mean, that whole year is for the Outback Bowl.
Right.
And if that gets canceled, there's a lot of people that are out of revenue.
All right, let's see if we got a couple other questions. Craig writes in and says that he wanted to know pretty much what the reason was for not looking for another bowl opponent. We talked about that, but why it wasn't clearly communicated to the fan base. And I think part of that, and I don't want to answer in your shoes, but part of that was just the time of year it was. You're right after Christmas, and you really didn't have a chance. I think there was a Zoom. I was on that parking lot on 95 during the Zoom. I should have got on it while I was on.
Yeah, we did. It was about an hour after the announcement. I mean, John and Coach Houston got on a Zoom with media, and there was probably, I would say, probably 20 media members on there, and they asked a question. I think John and Mike both said, "Hey, right now our season is complete," and we had those conversations. I mean, I think you can never communicate enough. I feel like we try to do as well as we can, whether it's John from the helm or social media. Talking to people about what our plan was. But in terms of playing another bowl game, the logistics just were not going to work to play somewhere else. Playing in Raleigh or whatever really was not an option, wasn't discussed.
A couple of other thoughts coming in. Bubba says that he understands the interest in the Hawaii Bowl, but really East Carolina in 2022 needs to play in a bowl game where the fans can get to because the fans deserve it. And I agree 112% on that one. We need to play. This East Carolina program needs to play at a site where everybody can get there. That's why I thought the Myrtle Beach Bowl was attractive, even though it didn't work out that way. But that would have been a bowl that would have been a tough ticket.
Yeah, Myrtle Beach Bowl would have been good. I do like the fact that we were playing an ACC opponent in the Military Bowl.
So do I. Yeah.
I felt like that was really big for us. Yeah, I mean, obviously the Myrtle Beach Bowl is right down the road. Annapolis, on paper, it says it's 4.5 hours. Let me just tell you, it's not.
It's not.
But no, you're right. I mean, listen, our fans have been our fans are amazing here. I was somewhere over the weekend and someone was asking me about East Carolina fans. It's like they're loyal, they're passionate, and they will support you. Now you've got to communicate. They're not going to take any BS, but they want to win. And what more do you want as being in this business to have a bunch of fans that care? Listen, I watched a lot of bowl games, and I watched a basketball game in the AAC yesterday where there was probably about 2,000 fans in the arena, and they were playing a ranked team. That's not going to happen at East Carolina.
All right, a couple of other thoughts coming in. Can you make sure the state game to open up the 2022 season is not a noon game? Can you pull that off?
We can definitely try. We tried with South Carolina. That is going to be strictly TV-based. I will tell you, when they called us and told us South Carolina game at noon, that was devastating. We were really hoping for a night game. to open the season. And, it still worked out. I thought it was a great football game. But I wish I could tell you that, but we will let the TVs know that we do not want to play at noon. That's for sure.
All right, a couple of questions about the trophy. Did the Pirates get the Military Bowl trophy like State got their bowl trophy?
Pretty sure we do have the trophy. I don't know that for a fact, Brian. I have not asked that question. I know that it doesn't count as a win, but we should get the trophy. I can find that out. Maybe we ask John Gilbert that question next week.
Yeah, we're going to pass that.
I do know that.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
we have it.
Yeah, Bill Clark Holmes is going to work with us and Coach Houston. There will be some kind of rings, and I think it'll be more about the celebrate the season, getting the team back to the bowl.
That's what I was thinking, because someone asked me, why would you want a bowl ring for a bowl that wasn't played?
Exactly.
But I think it's going to be more of a ring that kind of tells the story of the 7-5 season, the turnaround under Mike Houston, the Military Bowl, appearance, whatever you want to call it, wasn't really appearance because they didn't have the game, but being named to the Military Bowl, but something like that to really, something for the players to have pride in. Because and last week on the Joe Dooley show, because we didn't have anything to talk about with games, we had Coach Dooley bring a bunch of his rings in, and it was great to see a lot of that history and stuff, and all the history that Joe's had, at Kansas and other schools, and to see the Colonial Athletic Association championship ring from the I think '93. That was really cool to see too. So that was on this week.
Yeah, we'll work together on that. But I think there's a lot. These seniors that left here, go back 3 years ago. Since I got here, I've used the word, restore ECU football back to prominence. Because obviously ECU football has a storied history, and I think they did kind of move us one step closer to restoring ECU football to prominence and on a national stage. Obviously, we have a lot of work to do, but I'd like to see those kids get something to remember this season by.
All right, someone else writes in and says, take 301 next time just north of Richmond. I'll save you some time.
Okay, but I'll tell you something about Ryan Robinson you don't know. I am very fearful of bridges. There's a bridge.
You're running the family over there.
Yeah.
JJ can't stand them either.
JJ can't either. And there's a bridge on 301 that even when I see it to the right of me, and I can't think of the name of the bridge, but everybody knows what I'm talking about.
Geez.
You go straight up a hill like you're going on a roller coaster. There's no way I'd rather drive 2 hours around than go on that bridge. So that is the reason Ryan Robinson is.
We got to get that to John Gilbert next week and to see why two of his top administrators can't go across a bridge.
Well, I called JJ on his way up to D.C. and I said, "How are the bridges?" He goes, Emily. He said, "Emily's
driving." I know.
Yeah.
Oh, that is.
So that's why I don't take 301.
Wow, that is good stuff. I swear that is something else. All right, let's take another commercial break. Ryan Robinson live in the studio with us, taking your questions, your comments on the Military Bowl cancellation, Pirate basketball trying to get back to work. Back with more on the Brian Bailey Show to kick off 2022 after this.
Woo! Papa John's just took their fresh, never frozen dough and hand stretched it New York style. So you can fold it or not. Ain't gonna lie though, I fold it. Get a New York style pizza from Papa John's.
Hey, Pirate fans, the new Papa John's New York style pizza is a MVP move for game day or any day. Place your order online at papajohns.com and sign up for Papa Rewards. Papa John's, the official pizza of the ECU Pirates.
East Coast Grading and Utilities is your source for clearing, hauling dirt, and concrete work. East Coast Grading and Utilities handles all sewer and water issues as well.
I'm David Bone. Whether putting in a new subdivision or helping you with any and all of your drainage problems, I can get the job done. Call me at 531-7494.
No job is too big or too small. East Coast Grading and Utilities. Friends helping friends. 531-7494 for East Coast Grading and Utilities.
It's bow time. We think a chicken sandwich this good should speak for itself. But when you're talking juicy, hand-breaded, and boldly seasoned chicken breasts, piled up with thick-cut pickles and creamy mayo all on a buttery toasted bun, well, we are happy to say it again and again and again. Bo's Chicken Sandwich, only at Bojangles. It's bow time.
how much does the word reliable mean? Sure, all businesses describe themselves as reliable, and we certainly wouldn't expect any business to be unreliable, but when you take a word like reliable and make it your way of life, the entire core of your business, it tends to mean a little more. And it's something you have to show people, not tell them. At Delcor, we show it by being there the same day you call. We show it by simply doing outstanding work with exceptional products, a family-oriented work ethic, and genuine caring for all of our neighbors throughout Eastern NC. Because in a time of need, we know the first and the only thing you need is someone you can count on. That's why we only use equipment you can count on too, like a train comfort system. It's hard to stop a train. Delcor can have a new train comfort system installed in no time, or we can provide an AC tune-up to make sure your system is performing well. So will your system keep you cool all summer? Find out. Call us. We're Delcor, the service professionals. Reliable for over 4 decades. Visit DelcorInc.com today.
BMS Builders is your premier custom builder in Eastern North Carolina. With Blackwood and Mills Creek in Greenville, Dalton's Cove in Farmville, and Belmar in Ayden, these are just a few of the developments featuring BMS Builders homes. They can build the home of your dreams. Just ask Dr. Dennis Ross in Greenville or East Carolina football coach Mike Houston. They built their homes, and they can build yours as well. BMS Builders. Give them a call at 916-1578 for BMS Builders.
Pirate Radio.
All of our last names are ECU.
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
Hi, welcome back as we continue on with Ryan Robinson, Executive Associate AD at East Carolina, also the Executive Director of the Pirate Club. Next question that came in talked about Pirate Baseball.
Yes.
Are you ready for Pirate Baseball?
I'm ready for Pirate Baseball. We've sold... Right now, I just talked to our ticket person before coming in here because I knew it would be a topic. We're right around just a little bit over 800, and those numbers will they'll kind of skyrocket once we get closer. Just like with any base, as you get closer to the season, they will move up, where we'll get in that 2,500 range season tickets. And that's one of the things, if we can, this new building we're talking about for baseball, third baseline, Brian, is trying to build some premium seats on top. If you really look at baseball, we don't really have any premium seats. I mean, obviously the seats behind home plate are great, but kind of a premium area is what we're missing in baseball. Obviously, the jungle, we'll be back to normal. If you remember last year at this time, well, a month from now, JJ and I were out in left field of the jungle setting up chairs, because if you remember, you could only have...
Oh, yeah. That was crazy, too.
Yeah, so I remember spending all my time doing that. Luckily, there will not be chairs out in the jungle, and we'll have baseball, and I'm excited for that. I think our fans, they're gearing up for it. Hopefully, we can get our basketball teams back playing, and we'll have a good 3 or 4 months ahead.
The banquet's coming up February the 5th, and that's always a big event. Coach Cliff Godwin does a tremendous job, he and his staff, with that banquet, and it's so great to get all the Pirate faithful, the Pirate fans together, the former players that come in to speak. I mean, we've had it for so many years now in a row, and it's just a special night to kind of kick off the baseball season.
I tell you, the first year I went to that banquet, what I really impressed by Cliff is you really leave there feeling like you know the team.
Right.
Like okay, third baseman, that's great, it's that guy, but tell me something about him. And I feel like when I left there that first year, I knew about those kids. And I tell you, I drive by our baseball, they're putting in so much work. So I'm excited for baseball. I know we'll have really good crowds this year, and we'll start working on that kind of promotion route. But what is it, February? Is it 19th?
I believe that's close. Yeah.
So no, it's coming around the corner.
Weekend.
It doesn't stop, and then obviously I'm really excited too. Hopefully, people are having a chance to come over and watch our new softball coach Shane Winkler, who has just. The talk around the building is really done a great job in the spring.
February 5th for the Pirate Baseball Banquet. It'll be my honor and privilege to once again get a chance to MC that. That's just really
is that the Student Center
deal.
again?
I believe so, yeah. I usually meet with Cliff about that Monday before the banquet, and he goes over every detail that he wants done, and it's really a neat deal. And then also I'll be hosting the football banquet February 12th, so looking forward to that as well.
That's going to be really good too as well. We're going to try to have some donors at that event as well.
All right, let's talk about Ryan Robinson a little bit, because obviously you've had a great career in football, and I look back at your 10 years with the Jaguars as Director of Public Relations. How did that go as far as being with the Jaguars, and what did you learn in that job?
Well, I mean, I loved it. I think it was just a field of public relations where, you know, people don't understand. Like, I watched yesterday the Antonio Brown, and I'm feeling for their PR person, because when you're in the NFL, it's 7 days a week. You don't get a day off from July 31st till a couple days after the season. I mean, it's 7 days a week, because obviously you're working on Sundays, you practice on Saturday, and you are around these players every day. I mean, it's not just a casual relationship; it's a personal relationship where, I don't know if a lot of Pirate fans remember Fred Taylor, but Maurice Jones-Drew, those guys are my friends for life. Marvin Harrison, Peyton, they're all friends because you're around them 7 days a week, and when you lose, you know, like the Jaguars are now, it is brutal, because you've got to come into work and you're asking these players, hey, can you go on with Brian Bailey? Hey, you need to make you available to the media, because in the NFL, it's a little different now with COVID, but it was an open locker room. So if you can imagine a 2-12 team and you have to have an open locker room and you're chasing down guys. So I loved it, Brian. I think I was ready to kind of move on to a different stage in my career. But I love dealing with people. I love relationships. Not to say that, but the NFL it's a different grind now. There's a lot of rewards, but it is literally 7 days a week. And then you go to a market like Dallas. You've seen their media market. Right. It is a circus, and you're always under the microscope. But I really enjoy I think with any business, I really enjoy the personal relationships.
What was it like working with the Mannings so close?
I think it was great. You know, you learn a lot. I think the one thing I learned from Peyton is preparation, and I still try to take it to this day is, you know, don't ever go into anything without being prepared. And image is, you know, obviously Peyton and the whole family has lived off their image, and they're really good people off the field. I mean, you know, their father, Archie Manning, is one of the nicest men you ever meet, and I know he taught his sons the right way of going about it. And then Peyton loves seeing what he's doing now, where he's capitalizing, not playing the game, still making a lot of money. Yeah. Now I think where Peyton's going to end up is going to end up with a football team. I mean, he is passionate about the game of football, the X and O's, and I'd love to see him one day be able to run an NFL team. I think he'd do a good job. I knew he wouldn't do something right out of the game, because he has too much respect for the people that do it. The general manager's like, hey, some player can't just walk off the field all of a sudden. So, but you learn a lot, Brian. I think for me, the one thing I've learned in my career is just you got to be happy where you're at. And I think where right now, I'm extremely happy because I love the people of Greenville. I love the people I work with. Obviously, I have a great respect for John. And so I think you always got to be careful that the grass is not greener on the other side.
Yeah, and you see a lot of that in the transfer portal world we live in. And I don't know how a guy like Coach Houston, you know, does it, because you work so hard, you put so much blood, sweat, and tears into the program, and then, you know, basically somebody gets upset with you, they go in the transfer portal.
Yeah, Mike and I talk a lot about that. You know, he'll stop in the office and we'll have long talks where I think where Mike is good at is resetting. You get angry for an hour or so, but man, reset your brain, move forward, how we're going to get better, and that's going to continue. I mean, you look at our men's basketball right now, all across the country. You turn on a basketball game now and you listen to the announcers. Oh, he's a transfer from Wake Forest. He's a transfer from Brown. It's like, is there any freshmen?
Nobody started there.
Yeah, is anybody? But I think that's what's really cool about East Carolina right now. If you see some of our very talented players, you look at like a Tremont, a Tristan, a Brandon Suggs.
Right.
They're continuing to improve, and I think that's still the way you've got to do it.
I agree with you 100%. All right, another question. When are we going to get the Pirate Club Armada back?
This year. Unless we have a major spike in COVID cases, we've actually already met about it. I'm going to change a little bit. I want to try to hit a few more cities, and I want to try to do something where it's like a lunch one place and a dinner. We're kind of almost getting Coach Houston, some of our coaches on a bus, going here for lunch, doing a big event, and somewhere for dinner and doing a big event so we can hit more cities. But we will probably have a full list of where we're going probably in mid-February. And a lot of that's based off, we have a lot of chapter reps that work for the Pirate Club, and those are really cool events. But our biggest thing we've got to focus on Pirate Club is we've got to get new memberships too. We've got to get new members, people engaged. And even some of our older donors will tell you that. We've got to get this next generation of donors.
All right, Christian says, how about a Pirate Armada in Elizabeth City, please? And Elizabeth City is kind of a key spot because you got Norfolk and the Tidal area so close to Elizabeth City. Elizabeth City gets really, I don't know what the word is, but it's not fair because they are North Carolinians, but they're in the Norfolk market. And I get so many people coming from Northeastern High School, folks will say, hey, how come you don't cover us on Touchdown Friday? Well, we can't get anybody 2 hours to Northeastern a lot of time. Anytime Northeastern plays in any part we can get highlights from, we certainly try to do so. But because, they're in that northeast corner, but they're in the Norfolk market, and they're considered Virginians, I think, by a lot, but it's not fair.
But we've got a lot of Virginians. I talked to a lot of people in Virginia, and we need to get there. I think the key is, who was that asked the question?
That was Christian Bateman.
But Christian, we need your help to get people to these events so we can share the story of the Pirate Club and ECU Athletics. I think that's the biggest thing for me is we'll go anywhere, but we need people to also be there.
All right, another idea for the Pirate Club to have a graphic, like a goal graphic, like a saber, and fill it in as you get closer and closer to your goal, so people on the website can see it, and you can kind of,
That's a great idea. Yeah. That's a great idea. I'm gonna use that idea, and I think when we start this campaign, one of the things we're gonna do is you'll see the different facilities, and we'll do like a graphic where as it goes up, you'll see what the number is.
Okay.
So that's a great idea.
How about going to Maryland?
I'm always good for go to Maryland.
Yeah.
As long as I don't have to go on 95. I'll fly. I'll take a helicopter.
You and JJ take that bridge.
Yeah.
I think what you could do to raise money for the Pirate Club is get 2 cars, get on that bridge, you drive one, JJ drives the other one, and see who makes it across the bridge.
We'd have to raise $1 million for me to do that. I would not do that for it would not be slight. But no, I think that's we're looking at all areas because you can't always. And I'll tell you the one area we can't forget about, and this is going to sound, is Greenville.
Right.
Pitt County is amazing, and sometimes I'm always talking about these other areas, but we've got to make sure that we're also in Pitt County.
Yeah, got to look out for Pitt County. Got to look out for Greenville, most certainly. All right, let's take our final break. We'll come back and then we'll wrap things up with Ryan Robinson. Been a fast hour, hasn't it? Back with more after this.
There's no better time to drive away with a quality pre-owned car, truck, or SUV from Greenville Auto World. Greenville Auto World is your authorized rough country dealer. We specialize in lift and leveling kits along with custom wheel packages. Whether you're looking for ground clearance or enhancing the appearance of your vehicle, trust our team for your off-road experience. Greenville Auto World, 3840 South Charles Boulevard across from Hardee's at Bell's Fork, or online at greenvilleautoworld.net.
Although innovative new resources such as digital media and social networks have grown in popularity, smart marketers recognize that printing is a mainstay.
We live in an age of computer hacking, scams, and fly-by-night businesses, so it's reassuring to consumers when they receive printed marketing pieces.
It exemplifies business confidence and conveys a high level of commitment.
It also fosters trust, which leads to engagement and ultimately brand loyalty.
When you're ready to grow your business, come to PIP, where business goes to grow.
Burgers, wings, hand-cut, hand-breaded chicken tenders, fresh salads, and cold beer is the starting lineup at Tiebreakers and has been keeping customers happy for 20 years. Tiebreakers' family atmosphere is the perfect place to come watch your favorite team play while enjoying a great lunch or dinner. In a hurry or looking for catering options? Get Tiebreakers to go. That now includes the new curbside pickup by ordering online at tiebreakersnc.com. Tiebreakers.
Hi, I'm Ken Hagler of Taft and Hagler. We're proud to be sponsors of the Brian Bailey Show and the Pirate Nation on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. If you've been injured on the job or due to someone else's negligence in an automobile collision, call us at 752-2000 for a free consultation with experienced professionals who care. Go Pirates!
This is Dr. Christopher McDowell from Orthopedics East and Sports Medicine Center. Our practice has been caring for athletes at ECU and the residents of Eastern North Carolina for more than 35 years. Whether it's treatment for your sports injury or it's time for that joint replacement, Orthopedics East provides the latest in operative and non-operative orthopedic care. We also offer on-site physical therapy and MRI services. For experience and professional care, call us at 757-BONE or visit us online at orthoeast.com. Go Pirates!
Have you ever seen those exotic aquariums like the guys do in Las Vegas on television? You ever thought about having one of these aquariums in your business? It's more affordable than you think. This is Hal Pruitt with rentafishtank.com. We can make having an aquarium in your business turnkey with no work, cleaning, or hassles for you. Rentafishtank.com creates a relaxing atmosphere and keeps children occupied. Rentafishtank.com already services many dental, pediatric, and doctor offices, plus hospitals and senior living centers. Check us out at rentafishtank.com.
This is Coach Donnie Kirkpatrick, offense coordinator for ECU football, and you're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show. Now, back to Brian.
All right, welcome back. Another question coming in from Austin, and we touched on this a little bit, but they said Coach Houston mentioned...
Yes, Austin, I am going to try to lose weight in 2022. That's your question? Yes.
He says, talking about the cost associated with the canceled bowl game, does that change the plans of the announcement that's upcoming? And you kind of touched on that. The announcement's still coming as far as trying to get things cranked up for the multi-purpose facility.
Yes. That won't change that. I mean, what I really was saying earlier, Austin, is, if all of a sudden we come back and we have $400,000 in expenses, well, obviously it's hard to go out and raise a bunch of money where the first $400,000 is going to go to paying for those expenses. So, like a Bill Clark Homes, we've had other people that have stepped forward and we'll probably put out in the next couple of days where we think we're going to be in a really good place with those expenses. So our plan still is in February we can kind of go out and raise money for these facilities. Now, how quickly they're going to get done, I mean, one of the biggest things is, Brian, with these facilities, we're going to need to have the money in hand to build. It won't be, like the tower was a $60 million project, I think raised by, I wasn't here, but I raised like $16 million. This, we're going to have to raise all the money.
You can't just put it on your Discover card.
My Discover card doesn't have that. Now, I can check and see if I can get a little bit of an increase, but that might pay for a window.
All right, another idea that came up. We need more live music at halftime because Parmalee did a great job for homecoming. That was great.
No, and you're exactly right. I loved it. I think, too, if you've had a chance to go in that Carl and Connie Rogers Pirate Club level 4 game, we had a band there before the Cincinnati game, and it's really cool. What I've learned is, don't do a band. We've done some bands out by the baseball before a football game in that promenade area, and I've had some fans say, I don't like all that loud music right by my tailgate. So I'm learning, Brian. They want it at halftime or kind of in that Carl and Connie Rogers level. That is something we'd like to do where we almost have 4 bands a year. Now, Parmalee was special. That was really that
was cool.
Yeah, JJ has a great relationship with them, and that worked out really well. But no, you're right. I want to do more of that. I mean, obviously, we'd love to have Luke Combs come in here. I don't know if we can do that. He's a App State guy, right?
We saw Luke in Charlotte.
Yeah, he's an App State guy, but definitely something we're going to look at. We've always got to look at our game day atmosphere.
Yeah, and game days are so special and so important.
We're going to make sure Brian Bailey's mic works every game.
Hey, we got it fixed, man. Brandon Smith over there,
he's amazing.
And Pierce and everybody got it fixed,
and
it was working really, really well. But we just didn't have, late in the season, we did a couple of things, but yeah, we're looking forward to it because we're
going to have some new speakers. We're putting in some new stuff over football. I mean, that's the thing, people. You just really got to continue to invest in stuff that, well, now but a lot of people don't know is the speakers, the amps, the bulbs on the boards. I mean, you got to continue to invest in those
because
things.
The problem, I remember when the video screen was first put up. And it gets, I don't know if it was outdated when it was bought, but it gets outdated very quickly.
It does. They don't even make the parts to fix our board right now.
So you have to replace that baby, and that's part of the future projects.
And those are just, I can't say enough about Gray Pierce, Brandon Smith. They're just unbelievable. Kyle Gaskins, Will, Mike Miles. They're just unbelievable. And there's a lot of people behind the scenes that are going to work hard as we head into 2022 to make things bigger and better.
All right, Ryan, we're wrapping things up on this first edition of the Brian Bailey Show for 2022. Anything else you want to say to the Pirate fans?
Well, first of all, I want to ask, is baseball coming back for the kids over at
I don't know that, and I think right now it's looking doubtful because I saw some of the minutes. I'm an advisory member of the board, and so I see the minutes that come across and stuff, and I think right now, the problem that we've had with a special needs baseball league is that we can't stay 6 feet away.
No, you can't.
You have to be, you have to help the hitters, and it's just such a one-on-one experience, and I hate it because Bella loves it, and I've enjoyed it. A lot of people think that I coach out there because Bella played, but I was out there coaching before Bella was even out there.
It's just another example of COVID. Some of these kids, they need that.
They do. And some of us adults need it.
Yeah, we need it. It means a lot. But no, I think with Pirate Nation, just hang with us. I think I really do think we're continue to ascend as an athletic department, a Pirate Club, and obviously, competitive on the field is key. And I think we're going to see more of that in 2022. Feel really good about what we're heading into.
Ryan, thanks so much for the visit. The hour absolutely flew by. We certainly appreciate you. Appreciate your friendship. Look forward to 2022.
All right, thanks, Brian. Thanks, Pirate Radio.
All right, that's Ryan Robinson joining us next week. John Gilbert will be in the hot seat, and we'll talk Pirate athletics with him, and hopefully we'll have some games to talk about. Pirates back in action on Wednesday night if they get through the COVID protocols coming up this week. Have yourself a great sports week. We'll see you back here next Monday on The Brian Bailey Show.
This has been The Brian Bailey Show, brought to you by
Angus Grill, Bostic Sugg Furniture, Bojangles, East Coast Grading, Greenville Auto World, Papa John's, Pepsi, Seared Chop House, Taft and Hagler, Tiebreakers, BMS Builders, and The Rick House.
Join us next time for another edition of The Brian Bailey Show, exclusively on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate